Hello again and welcome. Thank you for joining me. If you're on this early, I say it all the time, you are probably watching the replay. So give me a hashtag replay. Let me know you are here and feel free to leave any questions you have. I do check the videos to make sure we didn't miss anything. I hope everybody is having a wonderful December holiday here in 2020. It's 2020 is almost over. It's been a year for all of us. I don't think a single one of us have had an easy year this year. So I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful holiday season this year and just really embracing the spirit, whatever you celebrate, just embracing the spirit. If you're struggling, watch my Mindset Mondays. I do really try, especially this season, this year, try to help you out with your mindset, help you to release some of that stress and anxiety. My background is in neurological psychology, so it's what I studied for about 14 years of my life, and so I really just try to lift you guys up. That is one of my big goals on my Mindset Monday videos, and I have lots of them in the video section in this page. So in case this is your first time joining me, let me introduce myself. My name is Evelyn Knight. I am the host of the Childcare Business Coach podcast. If you haven't checked out my podcast, search for me. I'm on Alexa, so you can actually have Alexa play my podcast. I'm all over. I'm on Spotify, you name it, it's everywhere. So check that out. A lot of business tips for you there. I'm the owner and founder and CEO of Childcare Business Professionals, which is a company that helps owners and directors find success while balancing research-based quality standards. I can tell you, for those of you owners out there who don't think it's possible to have high quality standards and turn a profit, it is. I was once that owner, but it is possible. It is possible to turn a profit in your center. I know some of you guys don't think it is, but it is. And again, if you're one of those people who think that it's not okay for owners to turn a profit in their center, watch my video from yesterday morning. Not the afternoon one, but the morning one. I do talk about that a little bit. I'm also a childcare business owner. I have a center of my own. I'm looking to expand right now. I have owned 5 programs altogether, 3, 4, yeah. I'm just going through my mind. I've actually owned 4. I'm looking at my 5th. One of the things I really focus on is manifesting. If any of you guys have done manifestation work, one of the things that you do is you act like it's already real. And it's a psychological thing. As a psychologist, I should do a Mindset Monday. I'm not going to get into it now. Otherwise, I'll go down a rabbit hole we don't want to go down. But it is a psychological thing, trying to balance your subconscious and your conscious mind. So when I go from 4 to 5, that's why. Like, reality is this, but in my subconscious, I'm convincing that I have 5 so that it will come to fruition. Being the person that I know I will be in a year. That's pretty much one of the things I teach. So today, we're going to be talking about just how to get your presence known. And let me go over again this workshop. I had some technical difficulties yesterday and they were really throwing me off. I do apologize. If you watched the video from yesterday, I was a little, I don't know, I hope I hit it well, but I was a little flustered because of the technical difficulties I was having all over the place before and during the video. Today's better, so hopefully it wasn't too obvious, and today I promise it will be better. But I'm going to go over our week again and just kind of do an overview and recap again, just so we know, and since yesterday was a little bit off for me. Today we're going to be looking at just how do customers find you and why is your branding so important, like just being seen. I'm going to go over the pillars. Every day I'm going to talk about a different pillar to your childcare center's success. Also, if you haven't gotten the workbook yet, please make sure you download the workbook. I have my Handy Dandy Surface Pro here. Oops, that is not what I was. Okay, so you know what? I will show you guys this. Speaking of manifesting, I will do something on my vision board that's on my computer here. It's part of my manifestation. It's the first thing I see. I will do a Mindset Monday for sure on creating vision boards and manifestation for you guys. But what I wanted to show you is the workbook. And let's see if I can get this to turn. It's not going to turn. That's okay. Here's the workbook. That's a sample of it. And go ahead and download it. I did put it in the group. If you look under the Units tab, it should be one of the first things you see. Under the Units tab, it's unit number 4, Proven Preschool Enrollment Formula. The workbook is there for you to download. So go ahead and download the workbook, print it out, follow along with me. You will get way more out of this program if you follow along with the workbook. Day 1 is in there. Some of the things I'm having you look at. Yesterday I talked a little bit about vision, but again, I was flustered and thrown off. So I'm going to recap a little bit today for what happened yesterday, just with my technology problems that I was having. But so the pillars that we're going to be talking about. Pillar 1 is know your business. Know what makes you unique. What is your vision? How does that vision make you unique? What sets you apart from the crowd? Where do you feel gaps, right? That is the number 1 pillar. Know your business, know your vision. Number 1 foundation. Everything I teach, I'm going to start with vision. Number 2, your online presence and your phone script. Know how to be found. That is the second pillar that I look at, is how to be seen first, how to be found, right? How to be on everybody's radar. That is going to be your second pillar. Number 3, your professional persona. How do you put yourself out there into the world? So very important how you put yourself out there into the world. What do people see? It's, again, that's part of your branding. We're going to talk a lot about things like that because it's so important that you engineer that. And yesterday, I have to say, I do apologize. I think I said I was doing branding today. I think I flopped them when I was kind of flustered because of my technology. So today, again, is going to be being found. Tomorrow is going to be your professional persona and your branding. So I'm sorry, I think I flipped those around on you. 4, always be tour ready. We're going to talk about the tour and always being tour ready. What does that mean? What does it mean for your center to be tour ready? Just an overview of that. And in case by Thursday, a lot of you won't still be on here, I can tell you, if you really want to make change in your centers, watch every video. They all come down on Tuesday. So I am giving you guys the weekend to catch up for those of you who can't make it live. But if you really want to see a change in your center, don't skip Thursday, Friday. Don't just watch the first couple days. Watch all of them. This is a free workshop, guys. What do you have to lose, right? What do you have to lose if you go all in? So free workshop, do the work, and you guys will see a difference in your enrollment. So I'm sorry, I just hit my number. 5 is going to be follow-up and retention. Follow-up is probably the most important day. So many businesses do not follow up. I could not believe when I was going through and finding statistics on this, only 3% of childcare centers follow up. Amazing to me. Absolutely crazy and amazing that only 3% follow up. So follow-up Friday is very, very important. Do not miss that one. Probably the most important one of all of these sessions. So yesterday we talked a little bit about your vision. Why is it so important? It is something I teach in depth in my membership program, but I do have a podcast episode that you guys can listen to on creating your vision that should be helpful. I'm not going to go too far into it today. Like what makes you stand out from the crowd. I realize it's one of the most important things. So I have a lot of resources on that for you between this Facebook page. I'm sure I've done videos on vision, but definitely in my podcast, I can have my assistant link the podcast episode to the units tab. So you guys just have that information also. So also filling gaps, like what gaps do you fill in your community? Just different things like that we talked about yesterday. We talked about knowing your market, your target market. And I'm actually going to talk about that right now for you guys. Because I think that was when I started having my computer problems and I had to cut it short yesterday and things started glitching out on me. So one of the things I want you guys to really think about is, who is your target market? Before you really start setting out to draw them in, do you know who they are? Who is your target market? Are they in their 50s? Probably not, right? The people who are looking for childcare are usually in their 20s, maybe early 30s, right? I want you to look at your neighborhood though, and look at your current customers. I want you to intimately get to know who your customer base is. What magazines would they buy if they bought a magazine? They may not even buy a magazine, right? They might do everything online. If they do, what social media are they using? Are you talking to the TikTok generation and Snapchat? Or are you talking to Facebookers, right? My demographic is going to be on Facebook. Some of the 20s, not so much. We're looking at Instagram. My son, who is 16, is all about Snapchat and TikTok, right? Not even Instagram anymore. So knowing your demographic and really knowing who you're talking to is really important, because honestly, if you're doing all your advertising on Facebook, you may not be getting those 20-year-olds, right? Because at this point, Facebook is going to like an over 30 demographic. It might even be going like, I don't know, I'd have to look it up, but I'm suspecting we might be looking at like 35 and over. So then, Twitter, I don't know who, not too many people use Twitter anymore. I have a Twitter, but it's not to follow business stuff. It's mainly just to follow politics and other things. But Facebook, the demographics are just, you got to really know where your target market is hanging out, right? Where do they grocery shop? What kind of groceries do they buy? Are they Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, or are they Walmart, Winco, right? I don't know if the whole country has a Winco, but you guys all have Walmarts. So that's the kind of thing you need to know. What kind of cars are they driving? And where I'm from, it is all about four-wheel drive, big, bad trucks, right? SUVs, four-wheel drives. And we get a lot of snow. We're surrounded by dirt roads and deserts. So it is definitely all four-wheel drive. Somewhere else, you might not need that. You can't do rear-wheel drive very well here in my area, as we get a lot of ice. But in your area, you might get sunshine and rear-wheel drive sports cars, convertibles, maybe great. Know what they drive. Who are they? What are their routines like? Where do they bank? Where do they hang out? What do they do on the weekend? Know your target market. I know it seems like overkill, but you need to know who you're speaking to. When you put ads out there, when you put posts, when you're going after social media, you've got to know who you're speaking to, and you need to speak their language. When you put flyers, I'm still a big fan of flyers. People do go to grocery stores and whatnot. They still look at that stuff when they're standing in line. If you're doing anything like that, make sure you're putting them in a place where your target market is going to hang out. If your target market is a demographic that makes six figures, they're probably not going to hang out at a laundromat. So you don't want to put something at a laundromat, right? So just really study them, get to know them, know who they are, and just looking around your community is very important. I talked about yesterday how your community is going to be your surrounding neighborhood, right? So just think about, where do you want to draw these customers into, okay? And how are you speaking to them in order to draw them in? Are you speaking their language? Are you advertising where they are going to see you? Or are you putting advertisements in the completely wrong demographic? So just keep that in mind. It really is going to depend on region, where you are, who you're talking to, different things like that. Never a bad idea to exhaust every option possible. Be on all the social medias, hang flyers, do whatever you need to do. I can tell you guys, I spend very little on advertising. I do not do a whole lot of advertising. I don't find it necessary. I really don't, because I just, I know really how to make sure our name is out there using free resources. I have bought a billboard, was probably the best thing I ever did when it came to advertising, but that was for my area. It may not work everywhere else. And you know what, you guys, I am sorry, but I forgot to turn off my notifications, I see. So I am going to do that really fast, because last time I forgot, it was not good. So and I'm sorry, I'm moving the camera around on you guys. Well, there you go. Now you don't have to hear my beeps coming through. And one of these videos I did, I had like 14 text messages come through. I was like, oh, really? Because I do this on my phone. So bringing it to you free, don't have the best technology. So there you go. So that's what I really want you to know. Really know who you're talking to. I do have some guided set questions for you in the workbook. If you're just joining now, let me know you're here. Say hello, ask questions. If you don't have the notebook, make sure to print that. Really important and helpful to guide you guys in this. It really is helpful. So I do have guided questions to help you guys figure this stuff out. And really quick, I am going to pull up this video on my tablet here in case you guys are trying to ask me questions. I can't actually see them. So on my phone, it is not showing me what's going on, and looks like it's also not showing me the video. So I am sorry about that. Let me see what is going on here. So if somebody could just pop on and say hello, I just want to make sure that this is actually, oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, I got it working. I'm sorry about that, guys. Technology and I have not been getting along lately. But knowing that your market is so very important, just really intimately knowing, because you need to know who you're talking to, what their language is. So today, though, I really want to focus more on how are you going to attract customers to you? How are you going to be seen first, right? And I want you guys to think about, again, your demographic. Who are we really talking to? And in the early childhood education space, we really are talking to younger people, right? Usually people having young children are going to be, I'm going to really stretch and say under 35. And sometimes I know we're going to go older. Most of the time it's going to be a little bit younger, but for the most part, we're going to be talking to people under 35, right? That is going to be our target market. I know in my area, I do have a big trend of grandparents bringing their children or grandchildren in. So sometimes it's not quite that, but I want you to think of where is the world going today, right? And one of the things that we really, really need to focus on, number one, a priority, is the internet. Think about when you're looking for a restaurant or anything, what is the first thing we do? We pull out our phones and we do a search. You're either going on Safari or Google and you're doing a search to find the closest restaurant, to find the closest bike shop, right? Same thing parents are doing for childcare. They are doing Google search. The other thing that is very important is to know SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. And I have a wonderful consultant who helps me with this. I will tag him in the post because I'm sure he can help all of you. He has studied our field very thoroughly. His wife owns a childcare center. He knows childcare SEO. It's what he does for a living. So he really has an intimate knowledge of SEO, which is search engine optimization. He knows the keywords that we need to use in order to really be seen and be found. I can tell you guys, when parents are searching, the overwhelmingly number one used word that they're looking for is daycare. I know we don't like that in our industry, do we? I know I don't. I don't allow my staff to call my childcare center a daycare. We worked very hard to be a preschool. Very hard. And so to me, I'm like, we are not a daycare. We don't just babysit. For you guys out there who are, it's okay. Do not let that bother you. It's just what we've chosen to do. Right? That is my personal choice and opinion. If you're happy being a great daycare program, that is totally fine. But as you're in this field longer, you'll realize that a lot of people who've been in this field for a long time do not like to use the word daycare. We really need to understand and remember, though, that that is what our market is using. Whether we like it or not, that is the number one phrase that our parents are using. They're using your city name with the word daycare. So we have to be able to come up on search engines with that word. The other thing to think about is what are some of the other things that they're looking for. They are going to use the word preschool, right? Preschool, childcare. When I was going through this, I actually did a search throughout the country to see how is childcare really spelled. Have you guys ever even really thought about that? How is childcare really spelled? Well, the proper way to spell it is childcare is 2 words. However, if you go into a Microsoft Word document or anything with Microsoft, they correct you and turn it into 1 word, right? So when I did a Google search, I basically did a Google search of the different licensing agencies around the country, and they all have it broken up into 2 words. So Microsoft tells us that the proper way is 1 word, but most of us are using Microsoft or Google Docs. Google Docs also does 1 word. But then licensing around the nation is using 2 words. So you want to make sure that you're using both variations. You want it as childcare 1 word, childcare 2 words. One of the things I've done in my business, if you've noticed, I always wonder if people think I just made a mistake, but this is very intentional. My podcast, The Childcare Business Coach, is 1 word. I have the childcare as 1 word, childcare. Childcare Business Coach podcast, 1 word. My company, Childcare Business Professionals, is 2 words. The reason I did that is because when those of you guys out there are searching for me, you're going to find me either way. My podcast is on my website. My podcast refers to my website, so they both just interchange, right? Even here in Facebook, my business page, the Childcare Business Coach, is going to have one word. My other group is going to have 2 words. So in order to be found, I made sure to use both variations, right, of the word childcare. I know that's what we use as professionals. That is the #1 search term for childcare owners, directors, and professionals. So I've made sure to put myself out there using both terms. That is so important, the SEO, the search engine optimization. When people are searching to find something, you want to make sure they find you by using the different variations. Now, I'm not saying that you need to have different websites. You just need to make sure that you're including both ways of saying it in your website. All the words that are in your website are going to come up in a search engine. So the more words, the better. More words, the better. One of the reasons I have a blog on my Child Care Center's website, and I know that sounds big and scary, but it's not as bad as you think. I literally wrote about 10 different short articles and put them up. That's all it is. I don't keep up with it. It's just 10 really easy, quick tips for your parents that they're going to love anyway. Things on like how to potty train your child, what to do if your child is a biter, what to expect your first day of childcare. One I do it to benefit us too. Something like, what does your childcare teacher wish you knew? Different things like that. What are some other ones you guys might like that I did? Why process art is better than product art. That's a huge one for me. Why play-based childcare is the best way for neurological development. Just different things like that are just really informative to the parents. I'm like, one of the ones I did that my teachers requested was, why do you want to drop off? I can't, this is not the title. I title it much better than this, but basically it's about why dropping off your children should be a quick, happy process. And so different things like that just to help out are how I did my blog. It's not a lot. I did it one time. It's just there. I really did it for the words to get on the search engines. The more words, the more search engines you're going to get on. Again, I'm going to put Raul's contact information for you guys. He can help you. I know this can be very overwhelming. So that is something he can help you with. The other thing is, how does your website look? Do you even have a website? How do your social media pages look? Facebook is a huge search engine. If you search childcare, you're going to see a bunch of Facebook ads or pages pop up, right? So you make sure you have a Facebook page. It doesn't have to be something, we have one, I do make sure I see it as just an advertisement. So we're not constantly keeping up with it. We have groups for our families that we keep up with, but the page I see as an advertisement, but it's there in case the parents want it. I have a Twitter, I have Instagram, everything, because of that search engine optimization that I'm really trying to hone into. So making sure you're just everywhere. You need your presence known everywhere. Okay. So one of the other things is, just making sure that you're on all the different websites. There are so many websites, which I did take note of here, that you can actually register your childcare center on for free, and making sure that you are being searched. And you can link your childcare center's website to all these free websites that recommend childcare centers. One of the biggest one that we all know is care.com. Did you guys know that it is free to register your childcare center on care.com? And when you Google search childcare, daycare, nanny, whatever, this city, your center will be one of the ones that come up. So care.com is a big one. Another great one, let me find them really quick, that I really liked is, let's see. I'm sorry, guys. So basically, yellowpages.com, childcarecenters.us, those are all big ones. So what I would suggest you do is do a search, do daycare and your city. See what comes up. You will see a lot of these free websites that are advertising, right? And you can register your center in 90% of those for free. They don't cost anything. Um, it's similar to like an Angie's List, but there's a whole bunch of them. So get on there. They will link to your center. Make sure you're on Yelp. Make sure you're on Google reviews. Make sure you're on all of those. And make sure you're claiming your business and really updating. Put the pictures on them. Do the work. If you want to be found, you need to do the work online. Online is the first way people are going to have contact with your center. That is the first line of communication, the first line of contact that people are going to have with your center. So make sure you are everywhere. Second thing I want to say about that is, since that is the first line of communication and the first place that everybody is going to see your center, you want to make sure that your website is stellar. You have to have a really great website, because parents are looking at all the websites. They're not going to just look at one center. Even if we pop up first, they're still going to look at other centers, right? So what is their first impression of your website? Do you even have a website? What is your online presence, right? What is their first impression? Okay. One of the things I really want you guys to think about too is when it comes to Google reviews, Yelp reviews, and all of that, people are very, very fast to give us negative reviews. People are jump to complain, but they don't always take the time to compliment us. So you want to make sure that you are very well aware of any negative reviews that are coming to your center, because many times that's all you're going to have. That is all you're going to have. So when it comes to websites, and I'm sorry, you guys, but I'm really dry, so I don't want to lose my voice. So I'm drinking my tea while I do this. But many of those sites, you want to make sure that you're controlling the narrative and that you don't only have negative reviews. You need to have positive reviews too. Say hi as you guys come in. I see Tammy and Melody are there. So hello, ladies. It's good to see you guys. We do have our meeting right after this. So at 5 o'clock, I will be jumping on to our meeting. Those are a couple of my members, so I will talk to you guys in 30 minutes. But making sure that those reviews are under control. One of the things we do at my center a couple times, sometimes every other year. I like to do it every year, but it doesn't, honestly, I don't always remember. But we do it often enough that I've got plenty of reviews, is I will put I've created QR codes, very easy. QR codes are the fun little codes that you can scan with your phone. If you just do a Google search for free QR code creator, you can get them free. So I go to my Yelp account, I go to my Google account, anywhere that our center is reviewed, and I create one of those little codes for it, right? And I put it in my lobby, and I ask parents for a review. And basically we say, if you'd like to be put into a drawing to win $10 off your tuition or $50 off your tuition, give us a review. What we've done in the past is, for each review they did, they got a ticket into a drawing to win $50 off of tuition, right? So that they are going to Google, Yelp, Facebook, all of them. And each one has a different QR code. All they have to do is scan it with their phone, do the review really quick. That ensures that you're getting more positive than negative reviews. I do have a podcast episode that I did about online hate. We all are going to experience it eventually. We're all going to get bad reviews eventually. We can't make everybody happy. Some of them are absolutely ridiculous. I had one last year that was insane. It was crazy. A mother just came in, assumed we misplaced her child, when in reality the child was just getting her diaper changed, and didn't give us a chance to speak at all. She was in the building for less than 5 minutes, blasted us on Facebook, said that we had lost her child, and it was just crazy. And so I blasted us everywhere, reviews, but I had so many positive reviews and so many parents that came to our defense that it really didn't affect us. So I do have a podcast episode on that. If you guys want to listen to it, it does talk about how to control that. I'm not going to get too much into that, but I will say you want to make sure you are controlling that online presence and that you're really being intentional about that, right? So go in there, make sure you're reviewing, have your parents give you reviews. That will just help you in that search engine too to hit the top, right? So again, back to your website, make sure it looks professional. Look at your competition's website, know how it looks. Make sure you're up to par with them, right? And again, I will put Raul's contact info in there for you guys. So once the people have found you online, which is the typical way people are going to find us nowadays, the next thing most people are going to do is either email you or they're going to call you, right? So we have to be ready for those emails and phone calls to come in. We have to absolutely be diligent and making sure that if you get the email, you're pretty much following a good email script. It is a cadence that really almost always follows the same. They ask, hi, I would like to enroll my 3-year-old for this many days a week. Do you have availability? That's usually right. So when we reply, make sure that your reply is very polite, structured, and professional. The same thing with the phone. I do have a phone script that I will share with you guys. I will put that in the unit that we do follow. And I have my staff follow this phone script, very specific. I basically answer, we answer the phone. And when they say, hi, my child is looking, first thing I'm like, oh, well, hi, my name is Evelyn. What is your name? You're going to write that name down. You want to write the name down. What is your child's name? Write it down. What age? Write it down. Then we go through, and I like to ask questions most of all. Like, what are you looking for? What are you hoping for? I let them do 80% of the talking, okay? After they're done, then we can go into, well, this is what I have available. This is what my program is like. And Mary, I think you would be great for a tour. I would love to meet little Emily tomorrow. Why don't you and Emily come in whenever you like? 2 o'clock's good for me, but we are flexible. Come in and I can give you a tour, right? Using their name. I know in the land of COVID, we all can't do tours. So I will give you some other options on how you can do tours at this point. But the most important thing is make it personal. You want to make that 5-minute friend. Okay. You want to be friendly and make that 5-minute friend. Give them as much information as you can. That is your first line of actual contact verbally, right? And first, they're going to be on your website. That isn't human contact. This is your first line of human contact. So you want to make sure it is a very positive, good experience. Next thing you want to do is make sure that you're making it a very personal experience where they feel welcome at home and that they know that they can come into your center anytime. My center has an open door policy. So what I say to parents is, we have an open door policy. You're welcome to come to my center anytime. Parents are always welcome here. But just keep in mind that from 12 to 2:30, it is nap time. The lights will be off, the children will be sleeping, so you're not going to get to see the classrooms in action. So even though you're welcome to come during that time, I do suggest you come during these hours so you can really see the classroom in action, right? That way parents know I'm not hiding anything. I am not trying to deter you from coming during those times. However, you're just not going to see what you want to see if you come during those times. I can tell you, I worked for a center that didn't allow tours during nap time. And if I was a parent, I would not enroll my child. If you told me you cannot come from this time to this time, my first thought would be, why? What are you hiding? I don't want my child anywhere that I don't have constant access to them. That would be the first thing I would think. So I do tend to be pretty paranoid, but there are babies. We are here to defend them, it is our responsibility to be their voice. Small children, especially in early childhood education, do not have a voice. And I have to say, a lot of times I see in our profession, our professionals giving parents a hard time for being that voice. We have no right to give them a hard time for that. They are their voice. We want to make sure they feel very safe and secure and give them that honor and that grace, right? Because it is very important that we honor that. Very, very important. Because they are their voice. Young children do not have a voice. So we want to make sure that we allow parents to be that voice in a very safe environment. So that's the phone script I will be adding to the notes for you guys, so you can pull that up and look at the phone script and use that in your own centers. And that will just be a downloadable, just like the workbook. But very important to make sure that you have a very professional persona on the telephone, since that is the first line of human contact. Let me see. I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking at my notes really quick. One of the things I want to talk about the phone. In childcare, we live in organized chaos, right? The childcare industry and a childcare center is always functioning in organized chaos. It's just what it is. It's just when you've got as many children as we have, whether you're a home provider or a public provider, we thrive in organized chaos. Parents don't understand and know that. They just see the chaos. Okay, we need to remember what they see, what they hear, right? And their perception. So when you answer the phone, try your hardest to make it sound calm and collected. If you have to be in a classroom when you do, tell the parent that. Be transparent. Parent to say, hey, I'm sorry, but I am in a classroom right now. It might sound a little bit crazy in the background, but that is just kids having fun. You don't want to let their minds come up with the narrative. You want to control the narrative. So think about what is happening in the background. Do you hear a bunch of teachers laughing because they're breaking right by your front desk? Tell them, like, I am sorry, but I'm right by a couple of my teachers who are taking a break right now, so I know it sounds like there's a bunch of people having fun, and actually they are. They're relaxing so that they're ready for the kids when they go back into the classroom. So make sure that you're aware of the background noise that the parents hear. And if it sounds like a bunch of kids like just screaming and having fun, or if it's an infant room that you have some criers, or you have staff on break, acknowledge it. Make sure you're controlling the narrative and turning it into a positive. Very important to remember that. If for some reason you're not prepared for the phone call or for whatever, be honest and tell them. Say, I am sorry. And I can tell you, I'm going to give you guys real life examples. As the owner of my center, I turned about a year and a half ago, I turned my center over to my director, Brandy. And so I'm not there all the time anymore. I'm only there maybe 10 hours a week now. If some weeks more, some weeks less. So I don't always know, right? When I answer the phone, it's like, ooh, are we touring tomorrow? What's going on? What's this and that? I tell them the truth. Like, hey, I'm the owner. I'm just stopping in. And so I'm going to have to get back to you on some of these answers. I'm not always here, but I'll be more than happy to have my director call you back. Okay. So being honest with them, people appreciate the honesty. Just letting them know this is what is going on right now. Like, and I say something like, I have such an amazing and wonderful staff that I don't have to be here every day anymore. So since they're so on it, I don't even know where my list of room in the class or where I am at in my wait list. Something like that is what I'll say. I'll just, turning everything into a positive all the time. Making sure they're just not thinking, oh, wow, she doesn't even work there. Something like, man, my staff is so amazing. I don't even need to be here anymore. That is exactly how I'm going to spin it. Just put that positive spin on everything. Controlling the narrative, which is absolutely true. It is a wonderful thing, right? It's a wonderful thing to be in a classroom with children laughing and just screaming, but parents might hear it as chaotic. It's a wonderful thing that my staff is so competent and wonderful. I don't have to be there every day. But parents might just see it as like, oh, why isn't she there, right? So we've got to help them to see the positive that's really coming through what we're talking about. Very, very important part. And try to set an appointment. It just looks more professional, and you can just be more prepared. If you know this parent is coming in at 3 p.m. or even between 3 and 5 p.m., right? You can just be ready, be prepared. It really is helpful. It is a very, very helpful thing. Let me see if I've got everything here I wanted to cover for you guys today on just that first line of communication. One of the things and one of the images I want to leave in your head, and I'm probably going to do this again for the tour, but I want you to imagine, I have all of this in place. Oh, by the way, if your teachers answer the phone, make sure they have the phone script. And the other thing that's really important is make sure the phone is always answered. I cannot stress to you how important it is to make sure your phones are always being answered. One of the things I did was bought a 5-pack of cordless phones, and I have them all over our building. My center, it has 190 children enrolled, so it's pretty big. So, you can't, if you leave the office area, you can't always run back out. So there's cordless phones in almost every classroom. There's one that's easy to get to. A couple teachers are assigned. If they hear it and it's not being answered by the third ring, they know to answer the phone also. But they have scripts to follow, right? They know, they've been trained on how do you answer the phones? How do you speak to the parents when you do answer the phone, right? So making sure your phone is always answered. I cannot stress to you how important it is. So what I want you guys to envision is you're my competition, okay? And they call your center and you don't answer the phone. But then they call my center and they answer the phone. They get somebody very pleasant on the phone. They get somebody who they don't know is following a script, but they hit all the key points. They use their name, right? They're like, oh, hi, Mary. It's just, let me have you and Emily come in tomorrow, and we can't wait to meet you and Emily. Okay, and so we're hitting all the points. Then they try to call you back, and then you do answer the phone, and you're in a classroom, and you're just like, they hear screaming in the background, and you're just kind of like, oh, let me go run in and get to the, oh, let me do the, and it's not that very easy going flow. And they make a tour appointment with you. Okay, so then they go and tour my center, and my tour is just dialed down, and I will go over this with you guys. So often I see them just take my money, sign me up now when they come to my center, and they don't even bother going to the next center to do the tour because we have it down to a science. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. When you're in competition, how is your competition really just flowing through things? And competition's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with competition. We are not going to be a fit for everybody. I know that my competition is a better fit for some families. There is nothing wrong with that. But you want to definitely be attracting the families that you should be attracting, right? It's the reason I have such a long wait list. We treat all of our families the same way. Even with our wait list, the ones going on our wait list, we are giving them the same courtesy. That way we're leaving that really good taste in their mouth. And when they walk out of that door, they're like, wow, this is where I want my child, right? When they get off the phone, they have a very good feeling. When they're done with the tour, they have a very good feeling. When they've gone through my website, they have a very good feeling. You don't want to leave room for that negativity. So that is what I'm going to leave you guys with today. I hope that you guys will join me tomorrow. Please, again, ask questions. Feel free to message me. Asking questions in the chat here is great because other people have the questions too. I'm just going to check really quick online to see if there are any questions. If my internet is going to cooperate, you never know. And then if not, I'm going to sign off for you guys today. Oh, let's see. I got a couple of you guys. Becky says hello. I'm sorry, guys. So we can take a look. And Dana, you're asking me what is the website. I'm not sure which website you're referring to. So if you can give me, just clarify that for me, and I'll reply also in here. And Tammy says hello. Well, I said hi to Tammy, Becky, Tammy. But Dana, I will go in and reply to that too so that we can chat and see what website you guys want to see. And I can send you guys links to different things. So again, you guys, just let me know if you need anything. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you here tomorrow at the same time. Bye.